UFC 311 full card breakdown and recap. Let's get straight into it, boys. This was a pretty good fight. It was a pretty good fight card, pretty good pay-per-view. I hope you guys enjoyed. But we'll get straight into it, starting with the early prelim opener of Tagir Ulanbekov versus Clayton Carpenter. Tagir Ulanbekov gets a unanimous decision. It was a decent fight to start off the night. I did believe that Tagir was going to get the win. I picked Tagir Ulanbekov to get the win. Clayton Carpenter, he's a good wrestler, but he struggled when Tagir took him down. Clayton was able to land some good shots at the beginning of the first round, but slowed down as the rounds went on. And Tagir was able to keep up the pace and get those takedowns and stop Clayton Carpenter from being able to reverse positions because Tagir is such a lengthy, tall guy at flyweight. So Clayton Carpenter was stuck under Tagir for most of the rounds. And in the third round, he was just too tired to really get anything going. So Tagir Ulanbekov starts off the night with a nice unanimous decision. And I forgot to mention, 4 undefeated prospects were taken. Their undefeated record was taken last night. It was pretty bad to see, but it was kind of funny. I don't think it's ever happened before. 4 guys with zeros turned it into a one loss, but we'll get into it. We'll keep it going. We'll move on to the next fight: Ricky Tercios versus Bernardo Sopai. I picked Bernardo Sopai to win this fight. I thought he was the scrappier fighter, and I thought he would be able to land the more damaging shots, which he did. Ricky Tercios pushed the pace the entirety of the fight. I think his game plan was to tire out Bernardo Sopai, who in his last fight showed that his gas tank is not too great, which it isn't. He tired in the third round of this fight, but he still landed the more damaging shots and was able to take down Ricky Tercios and deal a good amount of damage on the ground. So it was a clear win for Bernardo Sopai, but Ricky Tercios did not let off the gas, and he just kept pushing forward. So it was definitely pretty close, but Bernardo Sopai landed the heavier shots for sure. We'll move on, though, to the second undefeated prospect that got his zero taken. Another Japanese prospect, getting shut down, man. Rinya Nakamura was a huge favorite. I think a negative 500 favorite. And Muin Gafarov was able to take him down, hold him down, and do pretty much what he wanted throughout this fight. Muin Gafarov was a huge underdog in this one. And Rinya Nakamura barely used his wrestling. Like, he is a great wrestler, and he did not really attempt to use his wrestling as much as he should have. He should have been able to reverse positions. He should have been able to get it to the ground and do what he wanted. But Muin Gafarov landed the good shots, kind of picked him apart and got him to the ground when he needed to. So good decision for Muin Gafarov. Gets a unanimous decision in this one. And we will move on to Carol Rosa versus Aylin Perez. I picked Carol Rosa. I thought Rosa, bigger woman, more damaging. I did think that she would be a way better striker and not let Perez really get what she wanted on the feet or on the ground. And Carol Rosa, she outstruck Aylin Perez, but Carol Rosa was not really pushing forward and pushing the pace like she should have been, being such a huge woman at bantamweight and having more power for sure than Aylin Perez. But Carol Rosa, even though she was pushing and marching forward, she just didn't have enough volume to really, damage Aylin Perez and be able to get the judges on her side. And Aylin Perez got a couple takedowns. She got her takedowns and she was constantly throwing, moving, circling left, right. So she was able to get some shots off and get the takedowns, which swayed the judges. So Aylin Perez gets the unanimous decision as the slight underdog as well. So we will move on to the regular prelims. We started it off with Grant Dawson versus Diego Ferreira. I was hearing a lot of diss on this fight. It wasn't the best fight, but Grant Dawson dominated the entirety of this fight, man. People doubted Grant Dawson a bit. He's in the rankings at lightweight. He didn't deserve to have to fight down like this. I think he deserved a fight up, but definitely deserves a fight up after this one. Dominated Diego Ferreira for the entirety of the 3 rounds. Got the takedowns, got what he needed, landed ground and pound as much as people were booing, as much as people were hating. He dominated Diego Ferreira, who is a guy who is very dangerous in his last 2 fights, got back-to-back knockouts, very dangerous. So Grant Dawson did well in this fight. He neutralized Diego Ferreira, did not let him have anything he wanted on the feet. And when Ferreira would get back up, Grant Dawson would take him straight down and land a bunch of ground and pound and do what he wanted, basically. So Grant Dawson gets the unanimous decision. Diego Ferreira is tough. He wasn't able to knock him out or submit him, but Dawson gets the decision. I think he should deserve a higher ranked opponent in his next fight for sure. But we will move on to the next fight: Bogdan Guskov versus Billy Elikhan. I can't open that one up, but Bogdan Guskov, man, this absolutely shocked me. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I had a little parlay going, and I parlayed Bogdan Guskov by knockout. And if you know, you know. And if you know, you know, man. In round two, in round one of this fight, Billy Elikana took down Bogdan Guskov, held him down for the entirety of the fight. Or the entirety of the first round. I totally thought Billy Elikana could have gone the sub off. Wasn't able to do it. You know, he's a smaller guy moving up to light heavyweight. Bogdan was able to reverse the position, get to the ground, get Billy Elikana's back, and choked him out in the first round. He choked him out, and Billy tapped after the bell rang. He tapped after the bell rang. It didn't count, and I was like, "Oh my god, thank God!" Right? I was like, "Thank goodness, man!" Like he tapped out. They go to the second round. Bogdan's beating on Billy Elikana. You know, he's got him backed up against the fence. Billy Elikana's basically quitting. You know, this guy obviously came in short notice, moving up a weight class, didn't have a full training camp. He's tired. He's very tired, and Bogdan's beating on him, and Billy Elikana drops down to one knee, and instead of uppercutting like Guskov, like I thought Guskov was gonna do, he goes for a guillotine, man, and he chokes out Billy Elikana, and I absolutely crashed out. But it's besides the point. Beautiful win by Bogdan Guskov. You know, it was close in the first round. I'm not gonna lie, he almost got subbed by a dude who moved up and is not even in the UFC, but you know, he pulled off the win. Solid win for Bogdan Guskov. He moves on in light heavyweight. I'd love to see him fight Johnny Walker still. You know, his call out of Johnny Walker at the end of the fight was funny, but you know, we'll see what happens with Bogdan Guskov. Moving on, though, we got Zachary Reese versus Azamat Bakoyev. I honestly thought Zachary Reese had a solid chance in this fight, but I was very wrong. The second the fight started, Azamat Bakoyev took Zachary Reese down. You know, Reese has a terrible tendency, man, to put his legs up, go for arm bars from bottom position, and it just seems to never work out for this dude. Last time out, not last time out, 2 fights ago when he was in that position, he got knocked out by Brundage, got slammed, got dropped on his head, knocked out cold, you know. And here with Bakoyev, he utilized the fact that Zachary was below him, trying to go for that submission, and he just started landing nasty ground and pound. Punched Zachary Reese, landed his head, hit the canvas, bounced right off, knocked him out, and dude was laying there for a solid minute after that. So solid win by Bakoyev. You know, not much really happened in the fight. It kind of went quick. 1 second I was like, oh my god, Zachary Reese on the ground. Next second, Bakoyev slammed his head into the ground. It's just Zachary Reese needs to stop needs to stop going for this bottom position armbar. It's just not gonna work. It's never gonna work. Just give it up, man. You know, but it was jokes to see. Moving on though, we got Peyton Talbot, huge freaking upset, man. The third undefeated what am I saying? Third undefeated prospect of the night, getting their zero taken from him. Peyton Talbot, man, got absolutely dominated by Unk Rayoni Barcelos. Good shit by Barcelos. You know, he had a perfect game plan. He had a perfect game plan to win this fight, and it worked flawlessly. He knew Peyton Talbot. You know, Peyton Talbot's a guy who is a key striker. Like he just wants to strike. He wants you to just strike with him, right? So it's understandable that a guy in Barcelos who's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, I believe, you know, he wants to get takedowns. He's gonna want to take down Talbot. He's gonna want to hold down Talbot, and he's gonna want to do what he can on the ground with Talbot, and that's exactly what he did. Beautiful BJJ utilization, man. He was able to take down Talbot every single round, hold him down, land ground and pound, damage him. You know, an absolutely dominant fight by Barcelos. Peyton Talbot wasn't able to land anything significant, anything that injured Barcelos. If anything, Barcelos landed the more powerful shots and injured Talbot in moments. You know, in the end of the third round, he was ground and pounding him like crazy. Almost got the knockout on Peyton Talbot. It was crazy. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, I thought this fight would have been easy money for Peyton Talbot, but I was completely wrong. That is why you never bet on a negative 1,100 favorite, man. Never, ever. Another freaking prospect shutdown. Another prospect shutdown, and we move on. And we move on. Good shit by Rayoni Barcelos. Absolutely dominant performance. But we move on to the main card where we started off with Kevin Holland versus Rainer de Ritter. I was like, yo, this is gonna be a fun, scrappy fight. Rainer de Ritter absolutely dominates Kevin Holland in the first round. Kevin Holland, he said it on an interview, I do not see a single situation where Rainer de Ritter can submit me. Man, Kevin Holland got to shut up, man. He got to shut up. He does not know what he's talking about. Rainer de Ritter takes Kevin Holland down in the first 20 seconds of the fight, takes him to the ground, you know, trying to get to his back. secures the body lock, gets down to the ground. He's rolling with them, and then he rolls straight into a rear naked choke, locks it up, submits Kevin Holland within the first 3 minutes. Absolutely dominant submission by Rainer de Ritter. Easy work. He's calling out for a ranked opponent. I think give him a ranked opponent. This is the kind of tism that we need in middleweight. This is the kind of work that we need in middleweight. Let's see RDR get a ranked opponent, man. I called it in one of my videos. I said, as one of the fighters who I think is going to have the best year, I think RDR is going to have the best year, and I think he's going to be ranked soon. I think he's going to be ranked soon, and I think he will be fighting the top competition soon, baby. But we will move on to the heavyweight fight of the night, where we had Jailton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak. Jailton Almeida and Sergey Spivak had a pretty good fight, man. This was back and forth. Both these guys, honestly, Sergey Spivak is not bad on the ground. Pretty good jiu-jitsu, to be honest. But Jailton Almeida was able to reverse position, get on top, land the ground and pound that he needed, and completely flatten Sergey Spivak out at the end of the round and ground and pound him to a nice TKO finish. But this was a close fight, to be honest. Both these guys were able to reverse positions back and forth. I was excited for this one. But Jailton Almeida, big, powerful, and he knows exactly where he wants to fight you. He is not wanting to strike with you on the feet. He will bring you to the ground, either try to submit you or try to ground and pound you to a finish. And he gets the knockout here and gets a performance bonus for it. I think it's well deserved. But, good for him. I'd like to see Jailton Almeida in that title picture. I think he'll be fun to see against, hopefully, Tom Aspinall or, somebody in the top. Tom Aspinall, he called out, who did he call out again? Oh, he called out Gone. I think Jailton Almeida versus Gone would be amazing. That'd be a great fight. But we will move on to another performance bonus of the night. Yuri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. This was a fucking banger. This was a banger. This was my favorite fight of the entire card. I'm not going to lie. Jamal Hill versus Yuri Prochazka. And these two were throwing hands the entire fight. The entire fight. Yuri said, I need to work on my defense. I need to practice my defense. And he did it. I doubted the boy for a second, but he did it. He practiced his defense. He worked on his defense, and it showed in this fight. Yuri's head movement was so good. It was so good in this fight. Jamal was not able to land many strikes on Yuri where it stunned him, and he wasn't able to start connecting shots. Jamal Hill struggled to find Yuri's head and punish him throughout this fight. So Yuri Prochazka, beautiful performance by him. Absolutely shuts Jamal Hill's lights out with a 1-2 down the pipe, straight left and then hook right. Absolutely shuts Jamal Hill down, and then some nasty ground and pound to finish the fight. Yuri Prochazka, man, I think Alex Perez is his only kryptonite. I'm serious. I could see Yuri beating Ankalaev. I could see Yuri beating Big Ank. I could see Yuri beating, and I don't know. I could see Yuri beating everybody in the top 5 except for Pereira, man. He called for a Pereira rematch, third fight. I don't think we want to see that, man. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we want to see that. But Yuri's got options. He could fight down. He could fight somebody like Khalil Roundtree. Up and comer Carlos Ulberg. He could fight. He's already beat Rakic. He could fight Ankalaev. I think whoever wins between Alex Pereira and Ankalaev, he fights. Or like either way, I think he fights Ankalaev. To be honest, like if Ankalaev beats Pereira, I think he fights Ankalaev. If Ankalaev loses to Pereira, I think he fights Ankalaev. And if he beats Ankalaev, then I think he rematches with Pereira. But that'd be kind of crazy, a third rematch. And he lost first 2. But we'll see what happens with Yuri. Good fight, good win by him. But we will move on to a fight of the night, which was an absolute banger. I'm not gonna lie. First banger Merab fight. Holy moly, man. Holy moly. Merab is an absolute machine. He's not human. Like, that gas tank is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It actually doesn't make sense, man. Merab is a guy that you're like, okay, what does he really have besides takedowns and insane cardio? He's got it all. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even glazing. I'm not going crazy on Merab, but like, yo, how the fuck does he pull that shit off? Seriously. Umar in the first 2 rounds, pretty good. Nice landing more shots. He was connecting flush, lots of nice straight rights, straight lefts. His kicks were going. He had amazing cardio to go in those first 2 rounds. He was good. He got a takedown on Merab. He was stopping and stomping Merab's takedowns. But the difference between Merab and Umar, if this was a 3-rounder, Umar would have won. The problem is this is a 5 rounder. Merab is literally, he dreams of 5 rounders. Merab is like, this is his world. His world is 5 rounders. Seriously, Merab Dvalishvili is like, he's just a machine. Seriously, like his nickname suits him so well because this dude, he walks out in the fourth and fifth round. He looks like he just got out there. He looks like he just started fighting. While you got Umar, he walks out and he looks tired. He looks exhausted. One thing to mention is Umar did break his hand. I think he broke his right hand during the fight in the first round, but he still fought on. Respect for that. And Merab, man, he just nonstop keeps pushing the pace forever and ever. And you can see how much it impacted Umar's self-esteem and how it impacted his confidence in this fight because Merab, he started showboating, he started being like, oh, every time he knocked down or bring down Umar, he'd be showboating. That's the thing, Merab's showboating. So he's bringing down Umar's confidence and he's still got the gas. That just shows that he's just got energy for days. This dude has like 5 lungs. I don't understand. Anyways, Merab Dvalishvili, he might become one of the best bantamweights of all time, if not the best bantamweight of all time. That's for another video, though. The performance last night was crazy. It was definitely Merab's toughest performance. It was his toughest opponent, Umar, for sure. But at the same time, I just don't know if Merab's gonna lose to anybody in bantamweight. Like anybody, man. Seriously. Like next matchup, I don't even know. But Merab Dvalishvili gets the unanimous decision. Very dominant in the third, fourth, and fifth. Dominates all 3 of those rounds. I think he 50-45'd Umar. Absolutely ridiculous stuff, man. Absolutely ridiculous. But we move on to the main fight of the night. Islam Makhachev versus Renato Moicano. I talked about this when it was switched. I was like, damn, Renato could pull it off. He's about the money, but hey, Islam Makhachev, pound for pound #1 king. Let's be honest, this dude deserves it. He's pound for pound #1. Dana White admitted it. Dana and John Jones are gonna have some fights now, but hey, Islam Makhachev proved it. Round 1 submission for him. He loves his Darce chokes, man. Renato at the beginning of the fight started landing his jab. He was pressuring Islam a bit, but once Islam got that takedown and maneuvered his way to Renato's head, it was over. The second he locked up the Darce, it was over. Seriously, Islam's squeeze is ridiculous, especially in that Darce choke. It is ridiculous. The fact that Poirier was able to survive that Darce for so long is impressive. You know, Renato Moicano tapped basically immediately. Panic tapped. It's understandable though. Look at Islam Makhachev's squeeze. Look at his power. And I know we can say, oh, we don't know what would have happened if it was Sarukian, but I think Islam would have done the same thing. He looked amazing last night, and you really can't doubt this guy. He is 26-1, I believe now. He is pound for pound #1. He is the best lightweight of all time. It's tough to say, but Islam is actually the best lightweight of all time. It's insane to say, but he's surpassed Khabib for sure, man. So that's the whole card, boys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop your comments down below which fight you guys enjoyed most, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you.